Hello, and welcome to the Amarose English podcast. It's Abigail Eschen here, and we have an amazing guest on the show. We're going to be speaking to Maite Ordoñez. She is a renowned psychologist and coach, and the founder of onyourway.es. We're going to be speaking about the impact of a positive mindset in business. We're going to be looking at some expressions, and we're going to play a game at the end. Please do join in. Enjoy. Hello, hi, Maite. Welcome to the podcast today. I'm so glad to have you here talking with us. So we have a few questions to ask you. We want to know a little bit about what you do and how you do it and how you got started. So today we're going to be speaking about the importance of a positive mind with Maite Ordoñez. So let's get started. So Maite, tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us your story and a little bit how you got into psychology and coaching.
Hi, Abigail.
Hey.
Thank you for having me. And okay, so my story, I guess, is not a very maybe interesting one, but I will tell you. I'm originally from the Basque Country, and it's where I studied psychology. And I guess I've been always curious about people and human behavior and communication, so that's why I studied psychology. And afterwards, I worked for 2 years in public services, in social services, with children with autism and their families.
Mm-hmm.
And afterwards, I moved to Dublin just to improve my English. And in 2007, I came to Barcelona. I moved in Barcelona. And I started working in human resources, and at the same time, I continued studying my master's degree in clinical psychology and also coaching. So that's more or less my story and my entry into this world.
So did you know you were going to do this job when you were a teenager, would you say?
Not really, because when I was a teenager, I was very curious, as I said before, and I was very doubtful about my future. And when I had to make this decision about my future, I was very doubtful between journalism and psychology. So
where did you come to
these two options? Yeah, these two options were very interesting to me. So in the end, I just found a lot of information, and I talked to a lot of people that were studying both subjects. And yeah, after a while, I just decided to pick psychology, and I guess it was a good decision.
Yeah, definitely, especially with what you've achieved and looking at your profile and your website, it looks as though you've come a long way. All right, Maite, so what would you say are your 3 favorite self-help books?
Okay, so yeah, to be honest, Abigail, I'm not a big fan of self-help. I don't know why. I don't read many books about that, but of course there are many books, interesting books in terms of coaching and psychology. So yeah, there have been some books that really changed my life somehow. One of them is Mating in Captivity by Esther Perel.
Oh wow, I've never heard of her.
Yeah, she talks about relationships and couples and erotism and sex, and yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah. yeah, for sure. And she's got a beautiful perspective as well on this kind of subject. So yeah, that's a very good one, which is quite easy to read as well and very interesting. So yeah.
Is it in Spanish or is it in English?
It's in English. Yeah, I guess she's from Brussels, I think, but she lives in New York. And yeah, she works in English most of the time. So yeah, this book is in English. I read it in English. Okay. Yeah, so it took me quite a long time to read it,
You got there in the end.
Yeah, with the dictionary, and it was a complete exercise for me. But yeah, it was really, really interesting. Yeah, with many examples, and yeah, that was interesting. And then I guess another one. It's an old one. It's by Eric Fromm. I don't know if you know this author. Eric Fromm he was a psychologist and also was very interested in society and relationships. And there is a very, very good book which is called To Have or To Be. And it's about, you know, capitalism and society, and it's very open, but I think it's very, very interesting as well, very interesting perspective. So that's another one. And then another one, The Biology of Belief. I don't know if you know Bruce Lipton. He is from the United States.
Or I'm thinking of Lipton tea.
Yeah, Lipton tea is very well known, right? So this is yeah, he's Bruce Lipton, and yeah, he's from the States, and he is a very well known academic biologist, and this book is very, very interesting because he shows the connection between the body and the mind. You know, they are connected, and sometimes science it's been very has treated them very separately. So he explores the connection, and I think it's very, very interesting. It's quite a heavy book, this one, but it's interesting.
Nice.
Yeah.
So
The first part is a little bit tough, but the last chapters are very, very good.
okay, so I'll keep an eye out for that one. And so what about, let's get to your career. So what do you love about coaching the most, would you say?
Wow, that's a good question. Yeah, I guess where I enjoy the most is just to be part of a process of improvement. You know, when you help people improve their lives somehow, and you feel you're part of that process, and you somehow contribute to that. For me, it's really, really rewarding, and also to learn from all those different people. You know, it's very inspiring as well. Yeah, it's what I like the most.
So what would you say, what's the biggest transformation you say that you've seen?
Wow, that's I see transformation every day. You know, there is a sentence in Spanish which is nobody changes. So if you are in a way you don't change, but I see changes every day. So I don't really believe that we don't change. We do change like every minute, you know. So
Every other day, right?
yeah,
Wow,
yeah.
that is something to ponder on. I never really thought about it like that, to say maybe you could change in a day. I always kind of associated it with a process of time. But now that is an interesting point to think about, as yeah, maybe we could change in a day, and maybe not the long-winded stuff, but maybe small things we could change in a day. Nice. And I mean, what are some of the factors that you think that we need to think about to have a sound mind, especially at work? It could be stressful, especially during these times. Yeah, so what do you think we could do?
Yeah, that's a sometimes difficult question, maybe something we ask ourselves.
Yeah.
I guess for me, there are three parts or aspects that I think are important. First of all, I would say our mind, our beliefs. What do we believe? What do we believe? Because that really has an impact on how we experience life itself. So beliefs for me, and just being aware of our limiting beliefs. You know, sometimes we are our worst enemy, and that's why I think beliefs it's something interesting. It's been said that we have more or less 50,000 beliefs or thoughts every day. Yeah. So sometimes being aware of those beliefs and thoughts, and if they are positive or not to us, I think it's a very important point.
And definitely what you said about us being our own worst enemies, I completely agree with that, because we're very judgmental of ourselves, and we might not even realize how judgmental we are. So it's definitely correcting those thoughts. And yeah, definitely. Yeah. And I mean, who in terms, I mean, who are your clientele? Who are the people that you help the most or have helped the most, would you say?
Yeah, it's been like quite open and very. I've worked with many different people, but lately in these years, I would say that there were sometimes managers or leaders that were struggling, you know, with team management and leadership, which is, I think, a very, very difficult mission, a very vocational and very interesting mission, but also very, very difficult, and it requires a very deep personal growth, I think. not easy to be a good leader if you don't train your own skills. So it gives you also the opportunity to look at yourself as well, and just being aware of your communication and time management and emotional intelligence. You know, so many things you need to work on to become a good leader. You know?
And I think also it's very important. I think we mentioned this before about knowing when to ask for help. So when you ask for help, it doesn't make you weak. If anything, it makes you strong, because you know that there's a limit to your own kind of advancement. So in order for you to advance and grow, you need to have help, or someone who's been there and knows how to help you. Would you say that's something that you've struggled with in your profession?
Me, myself, you mean?
No, in terms of the clients that you've worked with, have you had people that are maybe find it difficult to ask for help?
Yeah, this is a belief itself, right? It's very, very interesting that you say this, Abigail, because I think this is a belief that we've grown with, or we've been taught not to ask for help, because that means that we are weak or we don't know how to do it. And I think asking for help it's an exercise of responsibility. And that was my belief as well. For me, it was very difficult to find someone, when you are a psychologist and you work as a therapist, you also need to take therapy yourself. And of course, to get to know yourself better and do this kind of process. And for me, it was very, very tough to find someone that I could really trust, to do this process. And also because that belief was also very strong on me, just thinking that I was supposed to be able to deal with everything because I was a psychologist. That's not true. And it's the same with leaders, so it's very good that you say that, because that's the change of this belief, just being aware that asking for help is being responsible, really. And not asking for help, it's maybe not being very responsible, because you cannot improve just on your own in everything all the time. That's not human, Human, we are in a group because we need each other, and that's something that is not bad. It's actually something good if you get it in a different way. So
definitely. Yeah, I agree. And also it's just getting out of your own way that I think you mentioned before, that it's important to just kind of get out of your own way, improve your self-limiting beliefs, and focus on the future that you want for yourself, right? Which is not as easy as it sounds. So so what do you think for you has been the most rewarding project that you've worked on, and why do you feel it was rewarding for you?
Well, I guess I've been in many, I had the opportunity to work in many different projects, and each one for me was very, very rewarding, and it's been very positive, and I've learned a lot. So I feel really, really grateful. That's the truth. But lately I can say, for example, I was working with a startup company here in Barcelona, and the CEO and the COO, they asked me for help to improve their skills in terms of team management and leadership, and we really worked on their culture as an organization, and that was very, very rewarding, because I really could see a difference between the initial point and the final point, and also I received very good feedback, which is always so rewarding. That's true. And yeah, I guess that project was very interesting as well, because there were women, and we could also work on this, female leadership features and characteristics, because there are differences as well. For example, beliefs and some practices that we sometimes as women we tend to do, differently from men, just because of culture and education, So being aware of those, and also feeling this team and sorority and partnership was really rewarding for me as well.
Fantastic. And aside from doing obviously the executive coaching, how do you think that corresponds with your company On Your Way? How do they differ?
Yeah, you mean my company and my brand, right? Yeah, I guess when I was working in a multinational company for several years, and afterwards, and I decided to become a freelance and to start my own business. And on your way for me means that kind of building your own way and doing something to keep in movement, to keep in a growth process, but also hearing your own voice, because sometimes we are exposed to many different messages, and we are supposed to be happy and successful and feeling happy all the time, and this kind of messages, and sometimes it's not true, and I guess there aren't global recipes for happiness and success. I don't really believe in that. I think each individual is different, and it's good just to have a space, a time to connect with yourself and to be aware of yourself, and having that as a starting point, right?
Completely, I completely agree, and especially like you said about taking a space, I think it's so important, because if anything, that's when you get ideas, because you're just kind of in your creative space, kind of just relaxing. Could be watching telly, you could be reading, or whatever it is, but just you taking that moment to kind of just rest, it means so much. And if anything, when you get back into work or whatever it is, you find that you're motivated and have the energy to, so yeah, I agree with that, definitely. Let's go talk about a little bit about love.
Okay.
who would you say is your celebrity crush?
Oh, I would say Javier Rey. You know him?
You don't know him.
Javier Rey is a Spanish actor, and he is so handsome. I really like him. Yeah, I really like him. He is my crush for sure, for sure. I mean, I never have the opportunity to meet him, but from here, if you're listening to us, Javier.
What do you mean? Oh, he is handsome. He's got that very stern look, doesn't he? Which I think women love. They love.
Yeah, and also I think he's a very, like very a common guy. It's not something like stunning. It's more, yeah, he's attractive. In a normal way. I don't know how to explain this.
He's an actor. He's an actor.
Yeah, he's an actor.
Oh, nice. What films? I haven't seen any of his films. I think I'm stuck in old school with Javier Bardem and Penelope Cruz.
Yeah, Javier Bardem now, yeah, it's a little bit old-fashioned,
Yes. Well, I think this gentleman is definitely better looking than Javier Bardem, in my opinion.
Yeah, different styles, okay, because they are completely different styles.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, that's true. So what films has he been in then? Because I haven't seen any of his films.
I've seen some series or different, but films I don't remember right now. Yeah, I remember a scene, but I don't. Yeah, Kiki, El Amor Se Hace. It's a Spanish movie by Paco León. It's fun. You have to see that.
Okay, I'll definitely look it up.
It's about love and sex, and now in the summertime, maybe a good choice.
By the beach.
Beach with
Yeah, I do miss Barcelona for the beach and for the vermouths. Oh, it's amazing. It feels so distant, yeah. But hopefully, I don't feel comfortable traveling right now, to be honest, with what's going on. So let's see. So yeah, now talking about holidays, if you could blink your eyes and be in a favorite place right now, in your favorite place, where do you think that would be?
That would be a beach for sure. I mean, it could be a beach in the Basque Country, which there are beautiful beaches over there, but it's true that the weather is not very good. So I sometimes imagine myself as well in beaches here in Catalonia that are very beautiful as well, So maybe Costa Brava or something like that. Oh my God.
Rosas or Tossa del Mar or something like that. So, what inspires you?
Wow, I guess I get very inspired by people. I don't know, people being brave, just breaking their barriers or trying to do something different, and just, yeah, for me that's really, really inspiring. And sometimes it doesn't have to be like a big deal, something really big, you change your life and you change everything. No, sometimes there are small changes, but being brave, I guess I get very inspired by that.
Fantastic. Yeah. All right, so now we're going to do something a little bit different. We're going to be looking at, seeing as we're talking about psychology, since we're talking about the mind and the positive impact it has on our lives, I'm going to look at a few expressions that have to do with the word mind, because expressions I feel are very kind of innocuous, right? No one really knows what they mean, or they could mean something or maybe not, so we don't really know. So let's see how we get on. So the first expression is at the back of your mind. Have you heard this expression before?
Yeah, I think so. It's when you have something over there that it's
Niggling.
Yeah, so it's something you keep with you somehow, but it's at the back, so you don't really deal with that like in a very direct way. So.
Exactly. Yeah. So let's say that you had to fill in an application form and you had to do it by tomorrow, but you're at work right now, so you can't really do the application form right now. But it's niggling. It's at the back of your mind. It's something that you need to get to. So that's what that means, to be at the back of your mind. And the second one is to be in two minds. Have you heard of this before?
In two minds? No, not really. I don't know.
So to be in two minds means to be undecided. Should I pick red or blue? To be undecided. I'm in two minds as to which one to choose. So to be in
me as a teenager with journalism and psychology, right? Yeah. In two minds.
Exactly. Yeah, that's amazing. An example. Yeah. So, yeah, do I choose psychology or do I choose journalism? Yeah, I'm in two minds. Yeah. And the third one is to bear in mind. To bear in mind. Have you heard of that one before? And that is to remember something. So you need to bear in mind that it's important to stay at home. Yeah. And to bring to mind.
Bring to mind.
To bring to mind. To recall something, to remember something. To broaden the mind.
Say that again?
To broaden the mind.
Okay, yeah, to open your perspective.
Exactly, fantastic. And to change your mind.
Yeah, to change your opinion, change your choice.
Fantastic. And to cross your mind. If something crosses your mind.
Yeah, like something that you think about for a moment, or.
Fantastic. And the last one is to get something out of your mind.
Like an ex-boyfriend, you mean?
Yeah, they're always good to get out of the mind, right?
Could be an example.
Fantastic, well done. So yeah, so these are all the expressions, or some expressions that you can use to do with the mind. Now we're going to do something very fun. This is based on a program that we have in the UK, and this program is called Family Fortunes. I don't know if you've heard of it. Did you manage to watch it when you were in Ireland?
No, not really. I didn't see TV very much when I was in Ireland.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So this game, I think it's a very fun game. I give you a topic and you have to name, well, normally it's 10, but I'm just going to say 6 right now because of time. So I'm going to ask you to choose a number from 1 to 9.
Now, 7.
7. Okay, so this is quite easy for you. So you've chosen an easy one. And now you have to name things that are naturally brown. Brown.
Naturally brown. Yeah. Okay, so any kind of thing, it doesn't matter, right?
Natural, yeah.
Like wood, it's brown. Wood, some types of skin are brown.
I forgot to tell you that you've got 30 seconds.
Okay.
Starting now.
Okay, so wood, I say wooden objects, okay? Some types of skin, chocolate, cinnamon, could be brown as well, and I don't know.
Two more. Come on.
I don't know, some kinds of hair.
Hair, okay.
Coffee.
Fantastic. Woohoo! So you just made it, you had 3 seconds. Fantastic. So yeah, you could have said mud.
Okay.
Coffee, you said. We've got bread. Chocolate, you said. We've got brownies. We've got bears, trees, toffee, conkers, and awfully, yeah, the thing that you drop in the toilet.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but I just managed not to do it.
Fantastic. So this has been amazing having you on the show today. I'm so glad that you came. It's been very informative. Just one last question. What would you say to anyone who would like to be a coach or like to be a psychologist? What advice would you give them? Youngsters, for example.
Okay, yeah, I don't know. I would say that it's definitely a vocational profession. Mm-hmm. So you really need to feel that that's your way, your path, your practice, something you really enjoy doing. Also, you need to be a good listener. And this is sometimes tiring, or it could be exhausting, you know, but it's something you really need to train and to enjoy somehow. Yeah. And then, yeah, if you are interested in doing this, just keep trying, and because it's not an easy way, you know, because it's difficult really to achieve a good position and to. So just if you think it's your path, just stick to it. That would be my recommendation.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So how can we find you, Maite? How can we find you?
You can find me in my website, for example. It's www.onyourway.es, and also on LinkedIn. Yeah, Maite Ordoñez in LinkedIn. So we can connect over there, and I'll be happy to get to know new people, for
Fantastic.
Sure.
Thank you so much. And yeah, we'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, Abigail. Thank you.
Thanks for listening.